Hello everybody, how are you doing? I am out in the shop. This is a 1 horsepower router. I had this on my router table whenever the 2 horse router, it's on there now, started giving me issues. It didn't want to run. So I popped this one on there. The other day, I don't know if you hear this or not. Hear that? As I flip it over, there is a metal fan in there. And I'm assuming it pushes air down through the router to keep it cool. There's a grommet, a metal grommet in the middle of it that is worn out, and that fan has come loose. So what happens is, when you fire the router up, it'll initially start spinning, and then the router gets up to speed, it spins inside of the metal fan, and the metal fan just basically bounces around in there, and the router sounds like it is running at twice the speed. It gets super loud. But what's going to happen without that fan, it's not going to move air through there. It doesn't move air through there. It's going to get super hot, and it's going to melt or cause a fire. So I can't really use that anymore. So I thought, well, I'll take the switch off the handle because I thought the switch was what was bad on mine. And this one has the exact same switch. But when I got mine partially apart, took the switch apart, and I got it working while it was apart, and I found the issue. Watch this. It's not locking the shaft unless I take it over this way. But when I move it back to the left, it has to be depressed for the router to take off. So there must be a bad contact in there. So at some point, initially, when I had it upright, I must have had it, let me turn that off so it doesn't keep popping on. I must have had it somehow forced in there a little bit or caught in there because it was running when I hit the switch, and I put it back in and it quit running. And I got to looking at it and found this was the problem. So what I'm going to have to do is take it apart, just take the top off of here, take this all apart and check out this switch and see if I can find the connection issue. I really need to go ahead and start rounding over all of this wood so that I can prepare to sand. Now, in regard to sanding, I swung into Harbor Freight, which you get some decent tools there, but you don't always get the greatest stuff. But I have a palm sander. It's a DeWalt, good little sander, but man, it numbs your hand after a while with all that just vibrating on the wood like that. So I thought I would try a random orbit sander. So I picked this one up, and this little back piece is a dust collector box that pops off, and there's a hole on there. And I don't know if I can show you this or not. Let me get around the back of here. See this right here? This is a universal. This will fit right on there. I've got it plugged into the router to help pull the dust and dirt, from the bottom, and then I've got this one up top, and they both go into my dust collection system. I'll be able to plug that one into the back of here just by pulling that off, and that should help with the dust issue. And I think that this random orbit sander should be a little faster than my little old DeWalt palm sander. So keep your fingers crossed. My hope is to get started rounding this wood over. I've got the bit ready to go. Everything is good to go, and we just need to get started. So I'll keep you guys posted on what happens. Well, that went a lot faster than I thought. All of my pieces are rounded over. Everything is ready to go to sanding, and there are still a few things like the backs of these arms. I made them about 2 inches longer, and the plan is where this comes down, I want to cut a corner on that, so a rounded corner, because the other ones, there was a gap about this far from the back of the chair, and I didn't like it, so I thought, well, I can just round that right to the back of the chair. So that's got to happen. I need to put a notch in the base piece for the seat back, and I need to cut the curve on the seat backs, and I've got to figure that out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my other chair. I'll take a piece of cardboard, lay it on here, and I'll get a nice curve for the back of this chair. Once I have that curve, I'll draw pencil marks onto these chair pieces, these back pieces, and then I can take them into the saw and I can cut each one of them off along those marks. And then what I can do is, these were initially 32 inches. The new ones are 38 because my wife wanted a much higher back on the chair. So what I'll do is I'll put this 6 inches up from the bottom of my current seat back. I can draw my little angle on there, take it to the bandsaw, cut it off, take it to the router, round it over, and I've got a nice shape on my seat back. See, because you can see, I cut this one with them laying flat on the table saw, and you can see the side ones are higher because when you put them at a curve, in the seat back, it kind of throws the contour off. So by making the contour on the seat and then removing them, I'm going to be able to get the design that I want. So those are the things that have to happen. And here's what I was talking about. If you take a look at this, notice how you've got this little extra section right here. So I'll be able to just round this and come out right here. And if I have to, I can trim some off because I've got maybe a little more than I need. I may even be able to take the arms forward a little more. It would just kind of look nice, I think. Give the chair a little nicer look. But I am super close to wanting to assemble one of these chairs. We just got a couple of things we got to knock out. This happened. My bin, I've already emptied it once. It was about half full, but with all the routing I've done today, it really filled up. I looked over and I'm looking maybe 3 feet up the tube. I could see that there was sawdust. So basically I just kind of picked up the bin and kind of bounced it left, right a little bit, and it all went down in there. And it really isn't full all the way. It just, I think, kind of backed up in the tube, because it's a free fall down into the bin. So I'm going to go get this emptied and show you guys where I'm at. All this stuff is routed. I just got done putting angles on the back of these. I found the angle I wanted, and I've got them all cut to the right angle. I just need to route the edge. I've got them all marked so that, one for each chair. That's 6 chairs. Once that's done, I'll start taking these to the old spindle sander and cleaning up the curves on everything that has a curve. And at that point, we'll be ready to take the new palm sander there, the oscillating palm sander, and start cleaning up the boards. So I think we're going to actually assemble the chairs, and then I will probably disassemble them and stain them, because with wanting to, round these over, I left that end way longer than it needs to be. So each one is probably going to be a little different depending on how I set the arms. So I think we're going to put the chairs together, and then we'll just very gently back the screws and the bolts out, stain them, and then slap them back together. My piles have gotten quite a bit smaller over here under the ladder. These pieces are all ready for the orbital sander. The spindle sander is ready for a good cleaning. I just got done using it, and all of the pieces over here, with the exception of the back pieces that are on the bottom of the pile, but all these pieces had curves on them, and I ran all of the curved pieces through the spindle sander, and they are now ready for the oscillating, or the palm sander, the orbital sander. Sorry, I lost the term for a minute, which is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm going to come out, and we'll get set up. I'll start by cleaning that spindle sander, and then we'll get our dust collector set up. I'll get the port plugged into the back of the orbital sander, and we will start sanding all of these pieces. At that point, they'll be ready for assembly. And like I said, the only thing left to do is on the backs of these arms, where this will connect to the back of the chair, to the back leg. I just want to round these over. I want to kind of, I don't want a sharp edge there. So I extended this about 1.5 inches. And so wherever the chair ends, I'll just make a mark and we'll just cut that off. And then we'll just come back and we'll just, we'll round it out, because I'm going to disassemble the chairs to finish them. I want to go ahead and get them all assembled so I can customize everything because, of that, and because of these pieces here. Right about here, there's a little, an L-shaped divot or triangular divot I have to cut out. And that is what the bottom of the seat will set into. It sets like this. So we've got to cut that little divot. And I want to go ahead. That is difficult to cut ahead of time because I didn't put it on my pattern. I need to update my pattern with that mark, and I'll have it cut. But I'm just going to go ahead and assemble the chairs. I'll put them all together, have everything ready to go, and then we'll take them apart and finish them, finish them one by one. And we will be done with some of the chairs this weekend, I'm hoping. We'll find out. I should be able to get all this sanded tomorrow. That's it for me, guys. I've had a long night in the shop, and I am pooped, and I'm calling it quits. You guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.